Hello, everybody, and welcome to another live edition of the Market Down Podcast. My name is Nick Cummings, joined this week by Chad Big Bad Johnson, Danny Hernandez, and a very jubilant James Casanzi. We are reviewing this week episode of AEW Dynamite. We had Fyter Fest Night 1 this week, which culminated in a fairly surprising title change where Swerve and Our Glory defeated Powerhouse Hobbs and Ricky Starks and the former reigning champion Young Bucks for the AEW Tag Team Championship match. This match was the end of a great night, or at least I thought. We'll get into that in a bit. But this match really, really brought the night home. I was so enthralled by it. I always take notes. I didn't write anything except, yes, Cutler is back, and holy shit, new champs. But Chad, I love this. I think everybody hit their finisher at least once, and people were able to either not kick or it was broken up. There was just nonstop action. Swerve almost cheated and then decided not to. He almost hit Keith Lee with the title and decided not to. Ricky looked great. There was just, and James got this big meaty man slapping me. Like, there was just so much good stuff in this match, Chad, that I don't even know what to say. I'm flabbergasted at how good it was.
As good old JR says, this was absolutely a slobber knocker. This, as we said off camera, this for me saved the night because I felt like the event was a little underwhelming or kind of mid for a lot of it, besides the first couple matches. But this match, this was the one. Like, it was unpredictable. I didn't know what was gonna happen. I had probably 5 or 6 scenarios on how it would end, and it didn't end like any of the ones in my head.
It ended 5 or 6 times. So
yeah, like the finishers galore, as you said, for James, big meaty men, the moves. I went into the match thinking, if nothing comes from this and the Bucks win, which I thought was going to happen, okay, just put a rocket on Swerve or Keith Lee next. They don't even have to be a tag team. Just do something with them to make them in my face every week, and then they fucking won. So I'm super excited. The reign for the Bucks was incredibly short, which is a little difficult to grasp. But other than that, the match was brilliant.
You and Danny were the ones begging for a short title reign in AEW, and surprisingly enough, the Bucks do end up having the first one.
Yeah, I didn't expect that.
Yeah, look, I'm totally here for Lee and Swerve being champs. I think they more than deserve to have gold in AEW, and I'm glad they have it. All 3 of these teams, any 3 of these teams could have won, and I would have been happy. I have been so behind Ricky Starks the last few weeks. He's gone to another level recently, so I was kind of pulling for them, like low key, even though I was like, all right, the Bucks are gonna win. I didn't think this was gonna happen. James, I will go to you next because you did get your big meaty man slapping me, so I want you to talk about that. But I also want you to go into, just for a minute, A, the surprise of the Bucks losing, and B, how much you think this was affected by the fact that the Hardys were supposed to win the titles a few weeks back, and perhaps the Bucks were just a quick holdover while they figured out what the fuck they wanted to do.
I'm glad,
Danny, you could talk about it too, but
I'm glad you mentioned it because I think 100% this was the case. I think we were supposed to get a Hardy Boy or a Hardy Old Men tag team title reign, and we didn't get it, and now they pivoted. And I think the Bucks are the perfect guys to be short-term champions. They've already been champions before. They already had a good reign the first go around. So it's okay that they have a quick reign here because, hey, doesn't matter. They're still the first ever 2-time champions. So it's okay that they lose quickly. And quite frankly, I want to see the tag team division in different hands, in new hands. I want the belts around new waists, or in Keith Lee's situation, his shoulder. And
his bicep.
And I'm excited for this team. And, you know, I know you didn't have a lot of notes on this, but I had one big note for this match. I loved the character work in this match.
Yes.
Every character, every personality shined brightly. The Bucks, Team Taz, Swerve, Keith, everyone really highlighted who they were and stories were told. I loved that Swerve didn't cheat and he did it because of Keith Lee. I love that. I want that to come into play later. I think it will. I think we will see that come into play later, and there's already going to be some animosity. These aren't tag team champions who are on the same page. They have two very different outlooks, and I think that's very exciting for AEW. It's a different tag team title reign right off the bat. The action
How will they coexist?
How
Sway?
And I think this match had some great action. I think we had incredible action. Keith Lee going over the top rope. How great was that? You know,
they've been teasing it all match too. I'm glad they finally gave it to us there at the end.
I love the spot with Ricky Starks and Nick Jackson both walking the ropes. How great was, and guess what? They're both assholes and they were mad at each other for doing each other's spot. It wasn't like, what? You could do this too? What? No, it was, fuck you. This is my spot. I loved it. They were great and it was a great match. And congratulations to the new tag team champions.
I love the spot where the Bucks super kicked Keith Lee. He got back up. And then Ricky looked at both of them and was like, all right, I'll join in. And then they went down, and then Lee went down. And Ricky was like, we got to pose. And I'm like, I turned to my roommate. I was like, he's going to get super kicked. And not 2 seconds later, the Bucks just dropped him. Like you said, there was great character work by everybody in this. And I think not only was there a great story in this match, I think we're going to get a great story now from the Bucks. I think them losing very quickly is going to play a lot into their character, especially after, I think it was last week, where they had that very quick promo where they're like, we have no friends left. They're like, Cutler wasn't around. He's back. I'm happy. Cutler is all-time great stooge. But Cole is gone. Red Dragon's gone. Kenny's gone. Hangman's still there. But they've been teasing that, so we'll see if it actually comes about. But they said last week the only friends we have are the titles, and now they don't have the titles anymore. So I'm curious to see where that goes. Danny, I know I said the Hardys, and you immediately rolled your eyes, so you could go there if you'd like. But I want to know just everything you thought about this match, and you. I don't want to say you were upset with the fact the Bucks lost, but you were at least surprised because I think you, like many other people, thought we were going to get the title match between AEW Tag Team Champion Young Bucks versus FTR, who are obviously the New Japan, Ring of Honor, and AAA Tag Team Champions.
Obviously. They're obviously those champions and not the AEW Tag Team Champions. But no, I just don't believe the story that the Hardys were going to win the titles. I don't know. I find that one really hard to believe, but
you're choosing not to believe it.
Yeah, it just doesn't make sense.
But
But
we're absolutely going to win.
It makes sense if you think Tony Khan is as much of a mark as people think he is. But
yeah,
MJF told us he was, so.
But he's from Long Island. You can't believe him.
This is true.
that's true. I feel like I've started a war with Long Island, and I'm really glad you've immediately taken my side, James, and you
Absolutely.
since the first day.
Whenever I'm there, I get fearful for my safety. I'm fearful for the safety of the wrestlers, and I'm fearful for my shower because I don't know if I'll be able to get the smell off.
I understand, there's something in the water there. But anyway, yeah, so I just didn't expect this match was fantastic. Everything about this was great. You already mentioned all my favorite spots, which pretty much all involve Keith Lee or Ricky Stark. So
Yep.
I think they both really shined in this match. Just so did Hobbs, but like Hobbs has been getting that shine in all these matches. He got it in the ladder match, he got it in the last triple threat tag title match he was in. So like he's gotten it. Ricky and Keith look like the stars that they are in this match. Like I said, I did not expect it. If they had won the previous triple threat match, I'd be like, oh, thank God titles are off Jurassic Express. And you know what? I would have been right to think that because, man, are they way more excited now that they don't have the titles. But the fact that the Bucks just won them and now they're going to the Franken team when it looked like you said, that I said, that everyone else said, I really look like we're going to build towards, FTR versus the Young Bucks. And we could still get that, but I'm not going to lie. The match is a lot less exciting without, the AEW tag titles. Because otherwise you got the ROH tag team titles, which are like NXT level of title right now.
That's fair. I think that's fair.
I think I'm being harsh on NXT, honestly, but
well, NXT actually had like shows and stuff, and Ring of Honor right now is pay-per-view with another one upcoming. So.
All right, yeah, stick it to Ring of Honor, Rev. Yeah, fuck it. The AAA tag titles. It's cool that they've had them, but they've had them for so long, and what have they done with them since the first month? Was cool when they were, the Americans heels holding the AAA tag titles, and the New Japan tag titles they just got, so whatever. But without the AEW tag titles, this match just feels like another match. That being said, it'll be fantastic, one of the best matches of the year, and undoubtedly steal the show, whatever pay-per-view it's on. I just wanted FTR to hold 4 sets of belts, if we're just gonna pile it on. But Keith Lee has a title, so fuck it, right? It was worth it.
That's also if they do that match at All Out. Like we don't know. That's just been rampant speculation by people online because they're like, oh, they all have the titles. Like, let's see if it happens. But they haven't been building to it or anything other than just the Bucks kind of ignoring FTR.
Truth be told, I kind of don't want them to wrestle at All Out. These two teams feel like they're destined to be on this merry-go-round for a long time. I know that FTR, I think, signed an extension a little while ago. So I don't think they're going anywhere anytime soon. So let the feud be something that happens throughout the years. We've already gotten 2 matches out of them, I think a year apart, or within like a 1 year period. And let the 3rd match happen maybe next year. I maybe that's me just having a lot of faith in their storytelling ability. I think AEW's earned that. But I think these are 2 teams that they're so big, you don't want to water down their rivalry by having it happen too close together.
I can understand it.
Yeah.
I agree, but I think it's been enough time, especially considering the last match was a TV match.
I guess that, I mean, I don't think that's as fair considering how AEW only has 4 pay-per-views a year, like excluding Forbidden Door, like they're going to put a lot of their big stuff on TV. So I don't know. I get what you're saying, but I think their last match was like 3 months ago, maybe a little longer. I can wait. I can wait.
Yeah, I can see the argument of like all 4 belts, all 4 sets of belts on the line. I can see that being something that everyone wants to see. And, with All Out being as close as it is, I think, it's about a month and a half, 2 months. Yeah, you could set that up, and because then you don't know what's going to happen with those other titles after, AEW, Tony Khan only owns 2 of those sets of belts. The IWGP and the AAA titles can, be taken off FTR at the whims of other companies. So setting that up, at least at that point, would have been cool. But now, obviously, that's, not a possibility for all 4 titles. So I don't think we need the match as much as we did, 2 hours ago.
Well, okay, that's fair. Like if they're not building to FTR versus the Bucks, why did the Bucks win the title? And yeah, okay, sure, the Hardys were gonna win the titles, and when they eventually fucking crashed their car off the side of the highway, and they needed to crown new champions anyway. So were the Hardys gonna lose to Lee and Swerve? Like,
I don't think so.
What? So is this a double like mulligan? Is this like a oh shit, our plans got thrown up in the air, put it on the Bucks, and now we're gonna put it on Lee? Where's the connection that where the Hardys would have fit into this? More importantly, I think a lot of the reason that we all thought that we were building towards FTR Bucks again is because FTR is red hot right now. Arguably, they're the biggest baby faces in wrestling right now. Like it's, it's at least debatable. The fact that I just said that didn't sound outrageous, So like, why wouldn't you do it now? Who would they? Is them beating Lee and Swerve better? Is there a heel team they can beat that would have been better than them beating the Bucks? Like they're top guys. You got to solidify that shit in AEW. You can give them all these secondary titles all you want, and they're only secondary because they're in AEW. These are primary titles in their own companies, but when you're bringing them into AEW, they become secondary inherently. So I don't understand why do the Bucks have a short reign? Whereas like when I normally pitch for a short reign, it's because I feel like it'll, I think that would have added to Hangman's character if he finally achieved his goals and it was immediately pulled out from under him. I think Thunder Rosa could have launched off into a heel turn if she just lost to Toni Storm. They could still be Team Thunderstorm and it not make a difference because it's the women's division. They're only going to get this much effort anyway. Or in Scorpio Sky's case, because he should never have been TNT champion in the first place. But
I think it was very. Sorry, go ahead. Continue.
No, that's it. That was basically a run-on sentence. Go on.
I was just gonna say, I think this was a very, I hate to say it, but I think it was a very WWE type situation. I think they had to swerve, no pun intended. I think they had to swerve and give us a transitional champion, and what better, team than the Bucks. I mean, FTR would have been great, but I think we would have been naysaying much more if FTR got it and then lost it this quick. So the Bucks are kind of perfect because we believe they can do it. We know they can do it. And then you just switch it off to the next hot team, which is a Franken team, as we said, but still, I mean, story is developing.
I think the thing is, one, Chad is absolutely right. I feel like this was a very WWE move, but I think we also have to cut AEW a little bit of slack here because they needed to course correct very quickly because they had been advertising that triple threat ladder match for a while, or at the very least, it was in the books by the time Jeff got arrested, and there wasn't any TV in between the arrest and then what would have been the triple threat ladder match.
Oh, right.
So I appreciate the fact that they didn't just insert a third team in there because it wouldn't have felt genuine for that match. And it was clear that they wanted the belts off of Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus because they were setting up this Christian Cage turn with Luchasaurus, and you needed to act fast on that. So there were a lot of stories that were dependent on that match, and then it kind of swerved off the road. But yes, pun fully intended. And I got to give AEW credit because they were working with what they had. And I guess they could have put in Swerve and Keith in that ladder match then and there. But again, it didn't feel genuine to the story that was being told. I feel like their title win would have been overshadowed by the fact, oh, they won because the Hardys weren't there. And I didn't want that for them. They don't deserve that. Keith Lee doesn't deserve that. Swerve doesn't deserve that. So I'm glad that it played out the way they did because they got to beat a genuine heel team. Not that there's anything wrong with a face team taking it off of a face team, but they got to beat a genuine heel team. And I think this match played to their strengths better than what that ladder match would have. So Chad was absolutely right with how he said it, that this felt like a WWE way of handling things. But at the same token, I think it worked for everybody here. And quite frankly, as happy as I am for Keith and Swerve to be champions, they also got what they wanted. That I'm pissed that Ricky Starks and Powerhouse Hobbs didn't win because they feel like the ones who've been busting their ass to get to these titles. So I think a lot of good came out of this match, this outcome, and this very short Young Bucks reign. Who, by the way, I'm just putting it out there, I think they can afford this because they're going to be going for the eventual trios title whenever that comes.
If it does.
More titles.
But James, I think you really hit the nail on the head there. Like AEW was put in a tough spot with Jeff, like you said, no TV in between, and they were obviously planning on having Christian turn after the Jungle Boy loss. So that was already like set in motion, and I don't think they knew how to stop it without just being like, okay, have the match out the Hardys and have the Bucks win, and then we'll just figure it out from there. I think just putting the titles on the Bucks just was to buy them time.
I agree.
Yep,
I agree.
They then figured out, okay, who are we going to run with now in the tag division, because the Bucks have other things to do. So,
I get that. I just don't fully. I guess I just don't sympathize with the predicament AEW is in as much, because, like, if I see a dog that's gone from home to home because it keeps biting people, and then I take that dog in and it bites me. I don't expect anyone to feel bad for me. I kind of brought that on myself, right? Do you know what I mean? Do you know what I mean?
No, yeah,
I get the point. I get the point you're making. I disagree, but we're not. That's gonna take us in a completely different way. But AEW did the best they could, and I think tonight paid off for them. They had to work with what they had, and they were able to make chicken salad out of chicken shit.
Yeah, and now we have a whole like tag team reset for the division, like you said earlier, James, where now we have Keith Lee and Swerve as our champion. So I'm excited to see them run with the titles. I'm excited to see who their challengers are. I'm really excited to see what happens with Starks and Hobbs.
I think those two teams can just live off each other for the next couple months, honestly.
No, I'm good.
Yeah, I think I'm done with that.
Too long.
No.
You're over it?
No, I mean, Chad, this is proof, and no shot against you, but this is proof that you just don't watch Rampage, because this has been going on
Absolutely
for what feels like 80 billion years.
Okay.
Yeah.
I would
getting
love
into like Sammy Cody territory.
I'll take. Oh God, never mind. I'll take your word for it.
Keith Lee has feuded with one team since he's gotten to AEW.
It's true.
Yeah. So
just to add one last little note before we get off the tag team shit, I absolutely loathe the name Swerve in Our Glory. That's all.
Oh yeah, it's terrible. It's terrible.
That's
worst.
the most WWE thing about all
it
of this.
Is the worst. I hate it. Every time they say it, it comes up with the banner. I cringe. It's disgusting.
Yeah. And the last thing I'll say is my dog analogy doesn't even work that well, because I would feel bad for the dog more so in that situation. But anyway, that's it. That's all I have to say about that. What happened next?
You just needed to get the last word on it.
No, I care for animals. I didn't want anything I'm saying to be misconstrued as otherwise.
That is the moral of the story here, and I'm okay with it.
I'm almost curious to see now if they turn Ricky and Hobbs face, just so they can throw Hook back with them. And because he's been getting face pops, like, Hook is face. So throw them all together. Maybe we bring Team Taz back together again, but we'll see. And Hook was on the show, but we'll see. All right, let's move on. We've been talking about this for a while. Go back to the top of the card, and the other title match we had today: Wardlow versus Orange Cassidy for the TNT title match. Apparently, Danhausen is a lawyer now, and he got Best Friends manager licenses. And they said before the start of the match that because Wardlow's bigger, faster, and stronger than Orange Cassidy, that they were going to cheat a lot. And Orange was like, whatever. He doesn't care. So anyway, Orange started the match by honestly, everything before the commercial was just amazing.
Yep.
Orange started by putting his hands in his pockets. Wardlow took his hands out, ripped his pockets off, and then he took down his straps and flexed. And then Orange put the straps back on. And then a little while later, Trent tried to remove the turnbuckle, and he got caught by the ref. And then Chucky T tried to throw a chainsaw into the ring, and he got caught by the ref. And Remsburg was like, "This is a chainsaw. The hell are you doing?" And they both got tossed. Then eventually, after Orange Cassidy starts running around the ring, Wardlow finds Danhausen underneath the ring, and Danhausen's about to curse him, and then thinks better of it and leaves. And then Orange Cassidy hit an orange punch, and then we went to commercial, and that was the greatest opening segment to this show ever. So the match eventually ended with Wardlow taking a Stun Dog Millionaire, an orange punch, and a beach break, and kicking out of it, which was just nuts. Orange went for another orange punch. he gets caught in midair and gets power bombed for what I believe was the second or third time. He had already kicked out of one, and Wardlow picked up the win. Afterwards, Wardlow picked Orange up and gave him the fist bump. So, Danny, I'll start with you. This, like I said, the first opening segments to this show ever. Wardlow picks up a very, very credible win against Orange Cassidy, and just a whole lot of fun in the CNT title match.
Oh man, so I only have 2 major points about this. I'll get the I guess negative one out of the way first. Stop using Orange Cassidy in this role of guy who loses to champion, because just you've done it too many times. Give him a fucking title next time you put him in a title match. Stop doing that. Like, it's just, you can't keep doing it. You know, he did it for Brody. Makes sense. He did it for Cody. Made a lot less sense. But you know what? That guy's doing pretty well now. So I guess Cassidy did his job. You know, he did it for Kenny. And you know what? Pac shouldn't have been in that match. Should have been a one-on-one match between Omega and Orange Cassidy. But anyway, yeah, that's my negative note. Positive note: Orange Cassidy is like up there for Wrestler of the Year. I feel like this year,
Has to be
just killing it. Like, what? He's having some of the best matches. This match was great. I didn't just like the first half. I like the second half too. I thought it was, because I thought this match was going to be a lot shorter than it was, because, you know, if Wardlow squashes Orange Cassidy, as much as I love Orange Cassidy, I'm not going to be fucking like steaming over it. I'd be like, yeah, okay, that makes sense. But the match just kept going and going. And every time they did it, it never got too serious, where it made, because Wardlow's supposed to be likable when he's facing one of the most likable guys in all of wrestling. So the fact that he never got like super angry or pissed off and just, you know, was like, fucking enough of this, I'm going to beat the shit out of this guy. Like, he stayed level-headed, considering, you know, the chainsaw of it all, the Danhausen of it all. You know, I would say, you know, I understand you guys said you were going to cheat, and I actually love that the baby faces were just very honest about the fact that they were going to cheat. I thought that was actually kind of endearing.
Well, Trent and Chucky T are assholes in real life.
They're just being true to self.
They're dicks.
Yeah. But I feel like you got to wait a little longer for the chance, just strategically, you know, like Wardlow was way too, you know, present and conscious. He had taken no offense at that point. You know, he's going to be very aware of a chainsaw. You got to give him just a little loopy. Then you bring in the chainsaw, you cut off one of those arms, and, you know, you could probably win the match. So just don't cut off a shoulder, though, because then how are you going to pin them both down to the mat, you know? But this match was great. Cassidy's great. Wardlow's good, too. But I just want to talk about how great of a wrestler Cassidy has been, well, always, but especially this year. Holy shit.
He did make a point, or Excalibur did, that Orange Cassidy probably has the best win-loss record out of anybody in AEW who hasn't held a title. So they got, you're right, Dan. You got to get him a title at some point. It's just
that feels like such a backhanded compliment. Man, he is so good. He just doesn't win the big one. That's really what it sounds like.
That's absolutely what that means.
Yeah. It was an odd comment. James, what'd you think about all this?
I adored this match. I don't think I realized how much I missed Orange Cassidy while he was gone. You know, like, I love Orange. I think he's great, but absence makes the heart grow fonder. And wow, he has been just killing it since he came back. I agree with Danny. I'm sick of seeing this man lose. And I understand not wanting to put a title on him. Like, it as frustrating as it is, I do kind of get it because of how over he is. It's a tough situation. I personally, and Danny I know is going to roll his eyes when I say this, I personally don't think there's a better person to put the FTW title on than Orange Cassidy, simply because it's not a real title. And, like, it's a title saying, I don't give a fuck about what I'm doing, or the world title. So give it to the guy who doesn't give a fuck about anything.
That would be so funny because it would piss Taz off so much.
Exactly.
Oh, I'm so in on that.
Yeah, I'm in on that too, actually. You sold me on that.
I think it's a good way of putting a belt on him without disrupting the AEW title scene. And I mean, the Team Taz likes to have long feuds, so you got 3 guys there, and you got 3 guys with the best friends do it. I think it'd be great. But beyond that, looking forward looking at this match, you
But
gotta
then who's the third person in Team Taz? Hook?
probably, like, when was the last time Danhausen and him actually teamed up?
Yeah, but then there's at least something fun with Danhausen. Like, whose side is he going to take?
Exactly, even better, even better. So I would love that. But looking at this match, I think this match we knew he was over, but Wardlow went into this match against Orange Cassidy and didn't get booed. He got booed at the action of ripping the pockets, but he did not get booed afterwards. He was treated as just as much of a face, and this guy is just AEW nailed it with him. They nailed it with him, and I think he's delivering. I don't think this is like a false, like, he'll get there. I think he's there. I think he was going toe-to-toe with Orange. When Orange did that tilt-a-whirl and Wardlow just handstand countered it, I thought that was incredible. For such a big guy, that was amazing.
That was an amazing spot.
He's so underratedly athletic. It's unbelievable.
Absolutely. I cannot wait to see the Wardlow title reign continue. I'm glad that we had his first title match that wasn't a squash. Almost all of Wardlow's matches for the last few months have been squashes. Even MJF, even winning the title from Scorpio Sky was a squash. Yeah. Like, this was his first legit match in a long time. And he could go. We know he could go. They're just giving him these squash matches because it's fun to see him powerbomb people. But he can go, and I think Orange opened the door for him to do more moving forward. I think the next match, maybe it'll be a squash, but the next title match won't be, I think. And I'm excited. I love Wardlow, and I want more of this from him. I really do.
You know, it was interesting to me when I saw he was facing Orange. I was like, wow, they're throwing a really tough opponent at him very early. And I'm cool with that, but I was expecting them to build to it almost, like maybe start with a Dante Martin or something like that, and then build to guys like Orange Cassidy. But I'm totally here for this because Wardlow having this title is the TNT title rehabilitation project.
Absolutely.
They need to get this title back to what it was, where dudes want it and they're challenging for it. And it's on the line almost every week, whether it's on Rampage or Dynamite or whatever. And it's week after week of just straight bangers. And now I think we're going to start seeing that again. And I think allowing Orange Cassidy to be the first challenger here and giving Wardlow such a credible win this early in his title reign does a lot for him, and it does a lot for that TNT championship. Because, like I said, Chad, they really, really need to try to bring this title back to where it was before December and the whole Sammy, Cody, Sky nonsense.
Right. So I was with you guys. I was like, I'm kind of tired of seeing Cassidy lose the big one. But with what you said as well, as soon as I saw it was Wardlow versus Cassidy, I knew exactly what they were doing. I was like, they are revitalizing this title, and it's about to get crazy. I knew the match was going to be great. I knew Wardlow was going to be over, despite how over Cassidy was. It's like the only thing I can really think, imagine or fathom in my mind to add up to what's going on is like when you're a kid and you discover that red and blue makes purple and you do it yourself. That's how magical it was. Like when you when you do it yourself though, and you're finally like, oh shit, this was cool. I knew it was going to be like that. I'm with Danny. Orange Cassidy, wrestler of the year, period. I don't know what else to say. The match was great. It set the tone for the evening. I think the title is in good hands now. I look forward to everything that's going to happen from now on.
I agree about using Cassidy to be the big opponents to help relaunch and revamp the title. But like I said earlier, this is the third time he's been in this exact situation where he was the new champion's first title defense. It's literally the case every single time. So it's not. It's a fine well to keep dipping into, but it is a well that they weirdly keep dipping into.
But oddly enough, they can build from this. He can fight Cassidy again 20 matches down the line and Cassidy win. Then everything is gravy.
Make him the FTW champion. Book it. I'm right. Tony, you're wrong. Do it.
No, I'm super with that since James said
it's so funny to me. Like, I'm just thinking of all the scenarios. It's like Ricky being really pissed off that like Orange won't take any of this seriously, and Taz just screaming on commentary. But I do kind of want face Team Taz too, so I'm like on the fence about it. But either that does sound, at some point, I think that does need to happen because that would just be the funniest fucking shit. All right, let's move on. Next, we had some highlights of the Pac versus Shooter, aka Shota Umino match in Rev Pro for the All Atlantic title. This was actually shown on Dark. I heard it was very good. I haven't gotten a chance to watch it, unfortunately. But A, I think it's really cool that Rev Pro let them put it on Dark. And B, I think it's really cool that they did it in Rev Pro. I think this is what we all wanted out of this title. Keep it off of Dynamite. Let it travel. You know, I think I called this, let Pac go home for a bit. Let him defend it over there. You'll still get content out of it. I thought this was really
call
cool.
That.
Yeah, so I'm excited that happened. It was Pac ended up retaining, so good for him. And then we had a Chris Jericho promo. It was very solid promo, like not his best promo. It's fine. Eddie Kingston has challenged him to a barbed wire everywhere match for next week at Fyter Fest. Apparently, also all of the Jericho Appreciation Society is going to be in a shark cage above the ring because we need that corporate synergy because it's going to be Shark Week, and I'm very excited. Shark Week.
I was wondering. I'm an idiot. I was legit wondering why the hell are they bringing back the Shark Tank? But
no, Shark Tank's a different show. It's Shark Cage.
Shark Cage, yeah.
It's Shark Week. I'm really excited. I love sharks. My favorite animal. I know everything about them. Anyway, Jericho.
Are you the Todd Packer of sharks? Like, what
yeah,
what a random thing. I love it.
I love sharks. Honest to God, if I could do anything and have any job in the world, I would be a marine biologist and just go fuck with sharks all the time. Like, I want to go cage diving with great whites. I want to get, do the thing we put on the chainmail and like get bit by a reef shark. I want to do that. Like, I want to.
Who does that?
Rob Dyrdek did it back a long time ago. But like people do that. It's a tourist thing in the Bahamas. You can go do it. So
I mean, sure. I mean, hey, we kill way more sharks than they kill us. So we gotta
give them a fighting chance.
We gotta even out those numbers.
You're more likely to die by getting squished by a vending machine than die via shark attack.
Yeah. But we kill a shit ton of sharks.
That's very true, and it's sad. All right, I digress. Right, Eddie Kingston challenged Jericho to a barbed wire everywhere match. I think I scared the shit out of James there. Jericho then proceeded to run down all the bad things that come with being Eddie's friend, and he mentioned Ortiz having to shave his head, Santana getting hurt, Brian, even though he was an acquaintance, getting hurt, and then Ruby getting her hand crushed by a car door last week. And then he accepted Eddie's challenge, but he accepted it as the Painmaker, and I'm sure we're all thrilled that the Painmaker is coming back, right, James? I'm so happy.
Like the whole point of a midlife crisis is you're supposed to get out of it, but the Painmaker just keeps coming back, and he won't let it die. I was there during the New Japan time of it. I was here for the AEW time of it, and he just looks like a cheap crow. Like, not Sting. He looks like he looks like what happened to Brandon Lee. And it ain't all right.
Oof.
Oh, shit.
Not cool, man.
I love the Crow and I love Brandon Lee. I'm like, but he looks awful when he does the Painmaker stuff.
He does look like a cheap clown. Like, I'll agree.
Oh God. And it'd be something if he actually brought something different out when he did it. Like when Finn puts on the face paint, there is a change in the character. It's just Jericho with fucking eyeliner on. Like
Meh.
And a terrible fedora.
Yeah, I am less than excited for this. Danny, imagine you feel the same way.
Are there non-terrible fedoras?
Yes, but they're all in like the 50s and Mad Men and stuff like that.
Fair enough. That's fair.
I don't have strong. I honestly don't have strong opinions on it. What, like the
On fedoras?
Well, yeah, on most things in life, but fedoras especially. Jericho's just, yeah, like I say, he's going through a midlife crisis. So he's a wrestler, so probably like 3/4 life crisis. So let him go through it. That's fine. It's stupid, it's silly, but it's not offensive. I could laugh at it. I'm not supposed to, but I can, and I will. So let him do it. We give him so much praise for reinventing himself. They're not all good, but when you create something, you're gonna back it, even when it's not good, even when Reddit says you shouldn't, even when Reddit's like, you're just 3 fucking white guys talking about wrestling, you just doesn't mean you gotta listen. You push through no matter how bad Reddit thinks it is.
Fair.
Yeah, I guess you're probably right.
We hit a lot of buttons there.
Like James, like you said, like it's just he doesn't bring anything different to the table with it. And like that's why I just don't give a shit about it. I think it's my point. It's like he could come as regular Jericho, he could come as Painmaker. Like the makeup's dumb, but like Chad, other than that, like it's just so useless, I think is the word I'm looking for.
Yeah, I'm super indifferent about it. I kind of don't care. I do like fedoras, so I feel like Danny hates me more now. I strive to give Danny a reason to hate me even more. Last week it was because I don't have a phone case, so I like fedoras, Danny.
2006 Neo, that was a good fedora. Like that when the Neo was in his fedora phase, those were pretty solid. I don't know why.
They're cool.
It's okay. It's okay that you like fedoras. I just wouldn't introduce you to any females I know. Shit, so that's all.
I mean, I don't wear them.
You like them in theory. You like the idea of the fedora. You don't
I own them, but I don't wear them often unless it's like.
I think everybody went through a fedora phase. It's just I think we aged out of it, and I think Jericho is still growing. He's a growing old man, and he'll grow out of it 60.
Too. What do you mean?
I'm all I'm saying is I have.
Hey, Jericho's woke as fuck, He's trying to cancel Brock Lesnar. He's a little woke, little snowflake guy.
It's true. It's true. This is all over the place, and I miss you guys.
I didn't think we were going to talk about this promo
so fast.
Sorry, Rev.
No, it's all right. Look, anyway, this all wrapped up when they got back from commercial with Eddie just yelling at Jericho after backstage. So, and Eddie did more in the 90 seconds than Jericho did in 5 minutes, which he called production out on, and he was absolutely right. After this, we had a very good match. Jon Moxley versus Takeshita. I wrote it down.
Yes, you got it. You got it.
I know. I wrote down the pronunciation. I'm not trying his first name. I'm just glad I got that. This is a title eliminator match, which was set up after Takeshita fought Eddie last week on Rampage, and apparently Mox liked it so much he wanted to fight him too. He wanted to fight him for the title, apparently, and Tony Khan was like, well, he did win, so we'll just give you a title eliminator match. This match, fuck. I know we were talking a bit last week about how Moxley can sometimes be a little hit or miss depending on who he's fighting. This was a great stylistic matchup. I don't know if it's just Moxley with the Japanese guys or what, but this was really good. Takeshita got bloodied, which was nice. Moxley eventually won with a Death Rider, the hammer and anvil elbows, and then tapped Takeshita out. I was shocked, Danny, that this was where it was on the card. It started, I think it ended 8:40. This could have been This could have been at the top of the hour. Like, this was that good.
Yeah, this was dope. I really like this match. That's all I have to say. It's counter to the the DDT, if we could still call it that, was fantastic. Match was great. That's all I got to say about that.
I'm never listening to the in the chat thing here ever again. Chad, I know you had a lot more to say about this match. I'm sorry I didn't go to you first. I think you're right there with me though, that this match was, I mean, I know that last match was great and the first match was really good too, but this match was, this might have been my match of the night just because I think it was way more under the radar than the tag title match.
Listen, I must say, this match was a banger for me, especially because we discussed how last week I was a little put off with the match, but this is the Mox I kind of needed. I wanted to see this. This was good for me. I was unfamiliar with the other guy. I'm not gonna butcher his name for sake of James. I'm just not. But
it was a process for me to get to his name too. So don't worry.
I'm just not gonna publicly
like
shit on that man.
Ta, but you gotta say the last part really fast.
Takeshita.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Oh, okay, awesome. Yeah,
it's not pronounced anywhere close to the way it's spelled.
I was gonna say that. Whatever you thought I was gonna say that.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, I like this match was a banger. This was a good one for me. I like Mox as interim champ. I think he's interesting enough, and I look forward to his, I guess, quote unquote reign, even though it's interim and we all know what's gonna happen. But I'm interested. Last week was a flub, was a dud for me, and this week was much better. So I'm good.
Yeah, I think that harkens back to something we were talking about earlier, where sometimes Mox against bigger guys, just the way he wrestles them just doesn't necessarily translate to things that we necessarily like. But this, like I said earlier, just a great stylistic matchup. Takeshita can go, James. Like, I know every time I see him, I've been saying this, but I'm just so unfamiliar with him. He surprises me more and more every time. And I think you say he was like a former champ in, is it All Japan where he's from? DDP, excuse me.
Yeah.
Yoga?
No, DDT. DDT.
Yeah,
I said DDP. DDT,
I said T. But I really enjoy this, but this guy's got to get more wins in AEW, man. He is way too good. I know he's losing the top guys, but he's way too good to keep losing.
It's a very interesting position that he's in because Takeshita isn't the typical Japanese wrestler on excursion that we're used to. He looks like a young guy, but he's not an up-and-comer. He's the ace of his company. He's a very well-respected wrestler. And he keeps being put in these situations, one, because I think these guys actually want to wrestle him. I don't think there is really that much story to Moxley saw that match and wanted to wrestle him. Like, I think on some level that's true. He wanted to wrestle Takeshita. So I think that's why we keep seeing him in these high-profile matches. But it's like you said, he keeps losing. And it's weird for someone of that caliber to just keep losing. I kind of want him to step back from the higher name of competition. I don't want him to continue to face these Moxleys or these Eddie Kingstons. I want to see him. You guys are blowing up the chat. Jesus. I want to see him wrestle guys a little bit lower on the card. That way, that amazing match he had with Moxley, he could have with somebody who could benefit from his rub, and Takeshita will get the win. So hopefully they start booking him a little bit differently if he's going to stick around. And I very impressed with this match. I don't need people to bleed every match, but I do think the color really did work here because it really showed he was willing to push through. He was willing to persevere. He was going to sacrifice whatever he had to get this win. And it was really cool. And I hope we get more of him in AEW.
Yeah, he very clearly gave Moxley everything he had. And I loved that about this match. And I think the blood only added to that. Honestly, low key, I know he's probably going to hold on to it for a while, Packins, but put the All-Atlantic title on this guy.
I was thinking
let him run
it too.
around with it.
I was thinking it too, but I don't know what his plans are. I don't know where he's going. And
Yeah, like you said, it's a weird thing that like a guy of his stature is just running around America for a while. I don't know. Maybe he didn't get to do like a full blown excursion back in the day, or he just felt like doing another one. But I'm glad they have him over here. He's been a joy to watch.
Likewise,
I think this is my first or second match seeing him, but he's great.
Oh yeah, he's very
really
good.
He can go.
He fought Hangman as well on Dynamite a few weeks back.
Okay. Yes.
He also gave Hangman a run for his money. That was also an absolute banger. I think that was my first experience with him. And then, like I said, he fought Eddie on Rampage this past week, which apparently also was very, very good.
Can I derail for just a quick second?
Yeah, we already talked about Sharks, so you might as well.
All right, this is wrestling related. Chad brought up a point about, he feels like it's just a foregone conclusion. Mox is going to drop the belt to Punk when Punk comes back. And, that is very likely, but how crazy is it that throughout all this is probably, God willing, health permitting, the closest we're going to see to Bryan and Punk interacting in AEW. Like, this will be how we get there. And, oh man, like I just thought of it as you were speaking, but man, do I need Bryan to be healthy again really soon? And man, do I need that to happen? And
that's going to be a time to be alive.
Bryan and Punk don't wrestle in AEW. This whole company was a waste.
Agreed.
Oh, no, literally.
I was going to say we're a failure as a society, but yeah,
we're a failure as a t-shirt company. What's the point?
Also, just to bring my tangent back around, Brock Lesnar F5 to Shark once. So, see, there you go. And now it's wrestling related. Yeah, it was a SummerSlam promo. I saw it on Instagram the other day.
More violence against sharks by humans.
Yep. We're just assholes.
Next time you see a shark kill a person, tip your hat.
Your fedora.
Oh, it all comes together.
Full circle. And Takeshita 6'9". Because no one was gonna say it. Come on, James. Come on, James.
For those of you confused, Danny has been daring one of us in the chat to say that in our private chat. And all right. After this, we had a quick.
Wait, let me just add one little derail. That guy has the same name as me. Takashi.
Yeah.
His name is Daniel Hernandez. So
that's his actual name.
Yeah, his actual name is Daniel Hernandez.
Oh man.
It failed to make me like him more, but it somehow made me like you less, which is hard because I love you. But that is not a connection that anybody should want.
It's not really a fun fact as much as it's
unfortunate annoyance.
Just a fact.
Depressing anecdote.
We digress. As I was saying, there was a House of Black video package. Brody King kicked the shit out of Darby at it looked like a Hot Topic, honestly.
It was an autograph signing session.
At a Hot Topic? It looked like a Hot Topic.
It follows Darby wherever he goes is Hot Topic.
Did you see Darby was backflipping tricycles with Nitro Circus the other day?
No, he was attempting
to
backflip
what a
tricycles.
Normal sentence you just said.
For Darby, that's pretty fucking normal.
Yeah.
He almost landed the second one. He ended up on his back a bit. The first one he wiped, but he was close. Good for him, man, considering he had never done it. All right. Anyway, after that, we had Luchasaurus versus Griff Garrison. Christian had a pre-match promo. He just talked a bunch of shit about Brian Pillman Sr. and then brought up the very obvious fact that Griff Garrison looks like Jungle Boy and mentioned that to Luchasaurus, who proceeded to go down there, kick the shit out of him with, I think they very obviously showed on purpose, Christian calling all of the shots while Luchasaurus was fighting. And then after the match, Pillman tried to get in Christian's face, but Luchasaurus kicked his ass, grabbed Griff, tried to put Griff through Pillman through a table. It didn't work, so then he did it again, and then they both went through the table. So look forward to seeing that on Botchamania. But this, no squash match. Christian's insults weren't as good as they have been, but they weren't that bad.
I mean, he called Brian Pillman a mid-carder, an overrated mid-carder. That was pretty good.
He at least had a little more respect for him than MJF did.
So, I mean, all I literally have to say on this is that I'm so glad that the Varsity Blondes are finally getting the push they deserve.
I don't know where there's so much hate. Like, I get it for Pillman, but Griff is good. He's just a jobber. That doesn't mean he's not good.
Let him be good at being a jobber. What? Like,
He is.
It's
I
not
mean, they went on
hate-ish.
Dark. They went on Dark, and then they come up to try to beat somebody
You're not
better, and they
helping.
lose,
You're
and they
not.
go back.
You're not helping. But I get it.
Absolutely not helping Zackerson or whatever.
they job to the stars. We have this conversation every time we see the Varsity Blondes.
So
we're gonna move on.
Wait. Hold. Is the idea with this segment that Luchasaurus is mad at Jungle Boy?
I think he's just Christian's puppet. Like Christian literally was calling the match for him. You know, like not in like a wrestling, but like in a, hey, no, like choke slam him again way. So I don't know. They still haven't explained it.
I think next week needs to be the week that they bring Jungle Boy back, because I don't know if it's just me, but this, like, Christian is killing it on the mic, but the story just really isn't doing it for me.
I haven't explained it.
I don't know if we need Jungle Boy back as much as we need Luchasaurus to say something. I think next week Luchasaurus needs to speak.
I need something.
I think that'll be good enough for me.
Dude, this Jungle Boy has been holding him back this whole time. And Christian's the good guy here who realized, this dinosaur, he's the shit. And I think people need to see that. Okay, and little, what has Jungle Boy done besides be a guy who looks like a slightly better looking version of Griff Garrison? You know, like Christian's the good guy here. Jungle Boy's done nothing wrong, but I refuse to take his side in this at all. Christian,
you're not even on Christian's side. You're just on Luchasaurus' side. Like,
I mean, that's fair. Like, well, I gotta give it.
Rev.
If I was ranking it, it's Luchasaurus, Christian, Jungle Boy, and Marco Stunt.
Did anybody else mark out slightly? Probably just me. I'm the old head. Did anybody mark out when Christian said, "I don't know either of you" from Adam?
All right, I thought it too. Like, okay. I know that's not what he meant, but I was like, Edge is on AEW. Here we go.
They're still brothers in my mind, by the way. So
I
not friends, brothers.
I don't even think they're brothers in WWE. Like,
they're not. But
like,
they're here.
Weren't they like in the very beginning, and then they got rid of that really quickly?
They were brothers for years until I think like 2008 or something.
They just, the moment Christian came back to WWE, they're like, oh, it's his old buddy Christian,
his best friend from Canada.
Yeah.
I hate WWE.
Oh, those two Canadian guys there, eh?
I hate them. I'm sorry, I digress.
Different show. Man, we have been just off the rails all night tonight.
I love it. We're having fun here. We have fun here at the Market Down Podcast.
Yeah, it's everyone's fault. After this, we had a backstage interview with a couple of guys from the Jericho Appreciation Society. Like I mentioned, they're going to be hugging the shark cage. And Menard and Parker were pretty pissed off about that. And then they went to Daniel Garcia, and he called out Wheeler Yuta since they're going to have a match at the Ring of Honor pay-per-view. So cool. And then commercial, I believe. And then we had a backstage interview with Hangman. Silver and Reynolds interrupted. They challenged House of Black to a match on Rampage. And we have Claudio Castanelli against Jake Hager. This was fine. Like, I think I called it before the show. I think I said it was kind of mid. Like, it's Jake Hager. Claudio, I think, can obviously have a better match. But this ended with Claudio had the sharpshooter locked in, and then Hager called down for Menard and Parker. So Claudio had to break the hold. And then there was a whole bunch of shenanigans and distractions, but Claudio ended up hitting the pop-up uppercut and then the Riccolo bomb for the win. So, I mean, like I said, Chad, mid, but fine. You know, and Cesaro picks up a fairly strong win, but nothing.
Who did? Who won?
Oh, I JR'd it. Claudio picked up a decent win against Jake Hager.
This was so mid for me. Like, just I went to the bathroom, I came back, the match was still on. I was like, all right, Cesaro, just win. Yes, Cesaro. Whatever.
This actually, I will say, this felt like a Cesaro match.
It
And
did,
it's not
right?
even
Very Cesaro.
it's not even Claudio's fault. It's just he has to work with fucking Jake Hager.
Oh,
Like there's only so much you could do with a block of wood.
as somebody who liked Jack Swagger, I cannot begin to let you guys know how much Jake Hager annoys me. I almost hate him. I think he's a waste of talent, space, a contract, ink, paper, pen. Over to you, Jimmy.
You are like channeling my energy right now because it's the same. I liked Swagger, the character. Like I think he fit a great mid-card heel role. I could not care about Jake Hager. And I get it. He serves a good role here as Chris Jericho's like heavy.
Does he?
But no, he is a goofball when he is with the Jericho Appreciation Society or the Inner Circle before that. Like he is a clown and he has like those weird like one-liners segment things that it's like, okay, that's why they keep you around. But it's not enough for me to want to see him wrestle one-on-one on TV ever.
Yeah.
And like I get it here. It's Claudio, it's his former tag team partner, and the storyline is ongoing. I get it. But after this, I could go another 4 months. I could go.
Has anyone brought up his speech impediment? If not, he's a waste. Again.
Jesus. And you know what's crazy about Hager? He's like weirdly protected. He takes very few losses in AEW.
Yeah, I wonder if that's to do with his Bellator status, like the fact he's 3-0, like undefeated in MMA. I wonder
Didn't he lose by DQ?
Perhaps one of them. I will
need the guy in the dick.
That. No, I don't believe they always say he's 3-0. So
yeah, I thought it was like a no contest.
Perhaps
maybe
it was
that's
no
it.
contest.
Maybe
Yeah. I'll
that's
double check it while Danny talks in a second. I was just gonna say, like, if you watch Hager and backstage stuff, like if you watch, he's on BT every once in a while. Or Sammy Slog, he's low key funny.
Yeah, he is. The Jake Hager wrestling character is a vacuum.
Yeah, because they
he's
try
like
to make
an
him
emotional.
Yeah, he's just
charismatic
like,
vacuum.
Yeah, and he's just trying to be like this big badass, and it's like, nah, you're just a giant goofball who happens to be good at punching people.
The former world heavyweight champion.
Yeah.
So is the great Khali. It doesn't mean much.
Well,
Yeah,
wait
Danny.
a minute.
Oh, hang on.
Are you gonna defend the Great Khali right now?
I will never in my life defend the Great Khali.
I know somebody who
Ever.
might.
Right, I do too.
I mean, he was okay.
No, he wasn't. But let's just move on.
He
Let's just
wasn't.
move on.
I'm I'm being nice.
There's not a lot of context where okay is a strong word, but this is that context.
It's doing a lot of work there. It definitely needs the A and the Y on it just to hold
Didn't
up
he
that
take
weight.
it from Batista also?
Was it Batista or Taker?
No, didn't he win the fake?
A battle royal.
It was a battle royal, and he lost it to Batista. Yep, got it. Thanks, Danny.
But I think he did beat Taker at some point.
He beat Taker clean. So did Vladimir Kozlov, but that's a whole nother thing. Man, what are all these heels have in common? I don't understand. Anyway, yeah, Hager, I just don't care. Yeah, I agree with you guys. It was just whatever. It was there. Yeah, I don't just like. Yeah, Swagger wasn't good either. He was fine as the mid-card, like James said, but once he won Money in the Bank, like this guy Rick in our chat was saying, it was bad. So when you realize the title, they really were just giving it to anyone at that point. But
Yeah, he took it off of Jericho, right?
Yeah, Money in the Bank.
Cashed in on Jericho.
That was. I was there for the Mania. He won the Money in the Bank, but I wasn't there for the SmackDown, and I got it. Like people were mad at me that I predicted Swagger was going to win that Money in the Bank. People in the crowd were looking at me like, right? Like it made sense for that match. For some reason, he was the right pick, but man, like the moment he climbed down the ladder, so did his career.
Yeah.
It was
and then like Rey Mysterio won right after. It was really dry until Kane picked it up later that year.
I agree, but it's
that was a
funny
dry
is the internet doesn't look back fondly on Kane's world heavyweight title run, but that was like the best 5 months of my fucking life. So
I like that.
you know,
I was fine with it.
I like the
Waiting
title reign. I just don't like.
for that.
I just don't like the
You just
man
don't like
anymore. The man anymore.
Oh, that's two different people, and you know, a sensitive wrestler in the news right now because of something someone said about that wrestler. But it's totally okay to be like, hey, that wrestler was great, and WrestleMania 20 was one of the best WrestleMania
That's
events in
fair.
history.
That's fair.
The guy's a monster, and I don't like him. You know, so you can do that with Kane. I have no problem. I don't. Glenn Jacobs does not exist to me. It is just Kane.
I mean,
I
we've
accept
all
corporate
seen
Kane, you know, but
he's
that's it.
still corporate Kane.
I'm just gonna
Isaac
headcanon it.
Yankum is totally fine, you know. And by the way, just you know, for all the kids out there or stoners possibly watching this, it was Isaac Yankum because he was yank teeth out. You know, that's they were really good with the names back then. That sounds like a Marvel hero actually, but
I do have
anyway.
I have an update on Jake Hager's MMA record since we care so much.
Thank God.
He is 3-0, 2 by arm triangle chokes and 1 by split decision. He does have a no contest due to accidental groin kicks, where he kicked a dude in the dick a lot, apparently by accident, according to the ref, and it was ruled a no contest.
You said a lot, though.
Yes, repeated
he
inadvertent groin strikes
lot.
from Hager rendered Garrett unable to continue.
See, I just never understood it. Do you know how often I don't knee people in the dick? Like every day, like I'm doing it right now. I'm not kneeing someone in the dick right now.
Well, you don't fight people all the time.
We can't see, you know, below the weight. We can't really see your knees, so we can't.
That's fair.
Confirm that. But this is why, bro. And you want that shit doesn't fly in wrestling. You kick someone in the dick, you get DQ'd. There's no, oh well, it was an accident, so it'll be a split decision. No, if the ref sees it, it's DQ. Get your shit together, MMA. Okay, pathetic. How's that a sport at that point? God.
Wow,
this doesn't happen.
There are reasons, but we have already spent far too much breath on Jake Hager, so I'm going to move on.
That's fair.
We had a backstage interview with the undefeated Hook, in which he said nothing, so it was great. Then we had highlights of Thunder Rosa's match in Japan. She also had a title eliminator match, and she lost. James, do you know who it was against? I didn't catch the woman's name.
Her name is escaping me at the moment, but it's very interesting that now she is the #1 ranked woman in AEW. Jumped ahead in the rankings, and I love that. I love to see it.
Do you know what promotion it was?
No, I'm a little
Stardom
behind
or something.
No, I don't believe it was Stardom.
I couldn't remember. They said it really quickly, and you know how Excalibur talks like this sometimes. He was doing that there, and I missed it, so I apologize. But apparently, also that match was very good as well, and it was also on Dark again. Something very cool and something I kind of hope they continue doing. That's
the matters happen on Dark, because I agree. Actually, I would say this was overall a good thing, despite them, of course, doing it with the woman. But you know, overall, we'll take it. Right? Dark means something for one.
Yeah, apparently Dark was really good this week. I know I should get back and watch it.
It's because they didn't record the matches themselves. They just took it from other companies.
But even like the regular Dark matches apparently were pretty solid. So
I don't want to butcher her name, but I believe it's Miyu Yamashita, and I don't know where she's from. I don't. Sorry.
All right. I know whatever there was a big event in whatever promotion that was. So
yeah.
Anyway, speaking of Thunder Rosa, she had a backstage interview with her new tag partner, Tony Storm, with Tony Schiavone, and that's going to get confusing really quickly. But anyway, Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, and Jamie Hayter showed off. They're finally back, and I'm excited. They talked some shit. Jamie said they know how to deal with thunderstorms, and Rebel, not Reba, brought out a sandbag that Dr. Britt gave to Schiavone, which... For those of you who aren't as hot and bothered as James, Thunder Rosa had been accused a couple weeks ago of sandbagging Marina Shafir. So just a serious shot across the bow there by the doctor. Looking forward to seeing them get back in the mix of things. And then after that, we had Anna versus Serena Deeb. Anna in front of her hometown fans, family in the front row. This match was fine. I was expecting a little more out of them. I think it got a little sloppy at one point. I thought Anna was eventually forced to tap out to the Serenity Lock. Deeb kept the hold on after the bell, which forced Mercedes Martinez to come out to break it because they will be facing each other, Deeb and Martinez, that is, at Ring of Honor. What is it? The Death Before Dishonor pay-per-view for the Women's Championship there. So, which I hope Deeb wins, honestly. That'd be a good title for her to have. But totally. This match was, I honestly, I completely zoned out of it, and I feel bad. I really like Deeb. I really like Anna Jay. I zoned, man. It didn't really hit for me.
So I agree in general, but I would just like to say that Anna Jay apparently is like really good at like near falls or false finishes, because this is like the second or third match where she's locked in the Queenslayer and had the crowd believe that the match was about to end. So like, she's relatively green still and young, but like she's really good at that one specific thing, and she showed it like multiple times now. So it's not like a coincidence.
Yeah. She's also young as hell. So like she's got a lot of time to become like one of the top women in that division. But I think you're right. Like she has put a lot of people to sleep with the Queenslayer, but it's been a minute. Like I feel like the last person was Brandy Rhodes, and then that's how long that's been. So I want more for Anna, but like I said, she does have a lot of time.
She's young. She's young.
And she was later confronted by Ty Conti, and obviously they were best friends there for a while. And Ty just kind of came over to be a bitch and said that Anna needs to make better choices for her career after Anna chirped her for slamming Ruby's door in the hand in the car door the other week.
I thought that was all right. One, I'm glad that I'm seeing these women interacting. But man, what a terrible comeback from Anna. It was like, well, at least I didn't slam her hand in the door. And it's, well, she wanted to. Like, you're complimenting her work right now.
It was Ruby's hand. I was like, okay, like, what does that mean? Like, we know that. Like, say why it's bad.
This made me just feel so bad for Ty Conti. Like the fact she's wrestled one match in AEW since she's gotten with Sammy. And he's ruining everything he touches.
And it was the mixed tag, and it was on pay-per-view. She hasn't had a television match since she got with Sammy. And nor a singles match. I saw that on Reddit today.
I know she wrestled in AAA at Triple Mania.
With Sammy.
And I think she has one other match in another company. But yeah, it's like she had 55 matches last year.
Yeah, we talked about this last week. Like she's being not wasted as Sammy's valet, but like she can do so much more.
I agree.
And I saw somebody speculate maybe it was an injury, and we just don't know. I don't know what the fuck she's been doing, but I want to see her back in the ring. She's too good to just be running around as Sammy's arm piece. Like she's way too good in the ring to be doing that, or just that.
She's featured. She's in a better spot now than she ever was as a heel in this faction. I think this is a step up.
She
for
fought
her.
Britt for the title.
She was the number one contender
for the TBS title.
She was a filler for both, though.
And she got way over doing both.
Yeah, no,
we had this argument last week.
I think you're, and again, I think you're exaggerating with way over. But like, she is in a better spot now. She has more heat than she'll ever have had a babyface reaction. Like, it's making the most of a shitty real life situation, which isn't a shitty real life situation for her and Sammy. It's a great one for them, but I don't see it as that. The only thing I agree is a waste is the whole Anna Jay Tay Conti situation was waste because there was a story right there, and that was a waste. But other than that, she's good. You know what? She's in a group of males on AEW television, which means she'll be on TV more. So.
That I do kind of like. I like when they add women to factions and it's not just a bunch of dudes or a bunch of women. It's
being part of a main event-ish heel faction is better than being a super mid-card babyface in the women's division. It's night and day. It's you can have a problem with that being the way it is, but that is the way it is.
Oh no, I don't even have a problem with what you're saying. I just have a problem with the fact she's only, she's not in the ring and she's just only Sammy's arm candy.
I agree.
Have her wrestle more. Absolutely,
Yeah,
you can have her wrestle. They're gonna have her. We're gonna get a mixed tag of some variety.
But I don't want the mixed tag.
No,
I just
put
want
her versus Ruby.
Yeah.
Like I don't need a mixed tag. Like what are you gonna do? Sammy and Eddie versus Ty and the Sam? Yeah, and you know what I mean.
Every mixed tag in AEW has been fucking fantastic. Why not have more? They've all been great.
Yeah, but Ruby versus Ty also sounds like a good match too that I'd like to see.
Yeah, that's
like
going to be a bad
wouldn't make it to TV under other circumstances.
Which I don't disagree with, and it's unfortunate. I want to see her wrestle more, and I'd like to see her wrestle more in singles matches.
I agree.
All right, let's wrap this up. We're almost done. We had a backstage interview with Jade Cargill. Jade and Kira Hogan have a match on Friday against Athena and Statlander. They're still pretty pissed about Layla Gray being around. Stokely said something about Wu-Tang Clan being for the children, which I'm here for. But that's still a storyline that they're playing, and they're playing it pretty slowly, so not much there. And then after Excalibur ran down the pay-per-view card for Ring of Honor, Jay Lethal interrupted him on commentary and just yelled about Samoa Joe, and the sound was all off, so we didn't really hear him. And then there was a tag title match, and that was Dynamite. So I think for me personally, the first hour was pretty solid, but everything after that Mox match up until the main event was kind of slow.
Yep.
So a little bit of 50-50. They tend to, at least for me, bring it more for these, themed Dynamites. This obviously being Fyter Fest. So I was expecting a bit more maybe, but this just seemed like a regular episode of Dynamite.
Mm-hmm.
So, a lot of good stuff out of it, but you guys have anything else to say before we wrap up here?
Yes.
I hate the name Swerve in Our Glory.
100%. But I'll tell you why the show sucked, because there was no follow-up to the best part of the most enticing angle of the show last week. Where were the Acclaimed? Okay?
They're doing it on Rampage.
Yeah, they're doing it on Rampage.
I was so disappointed.
Don't they know that I don't watch Rampage?
Do we need half of the show? No, put that shit on the show. It's more important. No one's more over than the Acclaimed. Whoever I said earlier could be the biggest baby faces in wrestling right now. I take it back. It's the Acclaimed. There'll be no bigger baby face than the Acclaimed. That's it. The show sucked. No Acclaim. Good night, everyone. Take a
You guys have anything else? Or
yeah. After Dynamite, Keith Lee cut a promo where he revealed like his emotional tweet yesterday.
Oh yes, something family related with his brothers, I believe.
Well, his friend apparently has cancer. So best wishes to Keith Lee's friend, and I hope. It shouldn't, it's so minuscule in comparison, but I hope this title win brought a little bit of joy to Keith Lee in this hard time.
Yeah, that must have been an emotional win for him. So congratulations to him for winning, but best of luck to him, his family, and his friends in fighting that, because I think we all know that fucking shit sucks. So
yep.
All right. On that note, thank you everybody so much for watching this week. Please like and subscribe. We are getting ever so closer to 100 subscribers, which means James will rap and dye his hair green. We have an interview coming out this week. James and I interviewed his friend NXZN, right? Did I get that?
You got it.
I misspelled it like 18 times typing out all the titles and stuff in my files yesterday. We had a lot of fun with that interview. He's an up-and-coming indie guy, so please, that should be out by the end of the week before his big tournament this weekend in Pennsylvania. So check it out, support him. It was a lot of fun. Good look into the life of an indie wrestler. So be sure to check that out along with our episode coming out later this week. I actually got the social media stuff in the description. I figured it out. So you can check that out down below. Like, subscribe, follow. So go check out Instagram for Danny's memes. It's good stuff. But yes, on that note, For Chad Big Bad Johnson, Danny Hernandez, and James Asante, my name is Nick Cummings. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you live here next week on the Mark It Down podcast. Have a good night, everybody. Oh, and let's go Mex. Fuck the Braves.
No.
Fuck the Atlanta.